Hey, my Legion, how y'all doing today? I'm back with a double movie review of two very strange films I saw on YouTube this weekend. I actually saw them for the first time, and it's weird because I have a little history of both movies from when I was in the army. Believe it or not. Uh, the first one I'm going to do is one called "Sometimes Aunt Martha Does Dreadful Things," and I remember seeing. I'd never seen this before at video rental place, right? I remember, I think when I was in AIT in Fort Gordon, Georgia, I was looking through videos on sale and I saw the one thing and it was like very strange. I never bought the thing. It was a very strange looking cover. I didn't know what the heck the movie was about. It might have been like they added different photos on there. I can't remember. Because there might have been two movies similar to that. There might have been one similar. I can't remember. And then in Fort Gordon, Georgia, not Fort Gordon, Georgia, in Fort Detrick, Maryland, I remember I saw two. They're from Video Treasures. I never seen them before. I never saw the movie before in the video rental place. And Video Treasures had that like in a double pack with another movie similar to that, but I didn't buy it because I was buying so many movies. This is back when I used to buy movies on VHS, so a lot of old horror films. I only had so much room. I was down TDY to Fort Detrick, Maryland. My main place was Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and I just had so much room for I ended up taking like five or six pieces of luggage back with me to Fort Bragg. So I did not buy these, and it was another movie that was similar to it, but I don't remember what that's called. And this movie right here is about. It's very strange. I was fortunate enough to see it on YouTube. They must have uploaded a year or so ago. I couldn't remember it because I kept getting confused with Who Slew Annie Rue, and there was a couple other titles like that that were very. It gets kind of confusing if especially for a movie that stays in the background, you don't hear about that much. It was made in 1971, and basically it was about like these two guys, and one's like a younger hippie type that does a lot of drugs, and the other guy's a little bit older, like a couple years older, and they're friends. And then the one guy, the younger guy, hippie guy, kills this one lady, and the other friend said, well, to keep them out of sight, they decided to rent this place in the suburbs, and he dresses like a woman and pretends he's his Aunt Martha. I don't know why, but that's what happened. And he lives under his roof. The other kid, and they act like mother and son, kind of, which is really strange. And a lot of times, the younger he pisses his Aunt Martha. I'm just going to say Aunt Martha off. And he's always running around with these women, but he hooks up with these women. But when the women wants to fool around, have sex with him, he's like, get away from me, get away from me, get away from me. He's really strange like that, and he gets real violent towards them. He does a lot of drugs. It's a very strange film. And there's films where there's parts where Aunt Martha wants to cut his hair. He's letting his hair grow till he says he's going to get in trouble with the cops. Very strange. And they act kind of like the Odd Couple acts, where he's like Aunt Martha's like the Felix Unger and he's like the Oscar Madison. Really weird. And what else? He ends up inviting this one guy over, the younger kid, and he says that guy knows him for some reason. And then and a whole bunch of other stuff happens. It's very strange. The guy who plays Aunt Martha, his name is Abe Sawick. I guess this is the only movie he was in. He starred in. Probably like that guy who starred in I Just Remember Mama Zoe something, or I can't remember his name either. But I remember seeing that movie. This is a very strange film. It's on Netflix. I mean, not Netflix, YouTube. And I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10. And some of it, it's pretty good for the most part. It's just very weird and disturbing. And then, like a lot of times when he comes out of the house, he has to be dressed up like a woman. He does kind of reminds me of the Tom Hanks character in Boots and Buddies, like way before that show came out. Very strange film. And made in Baltimore. I don't know if it might have been an homage to John Waters or not, because John Waters was established, I think, a year or so before around that time. I don't know if it might be a homage to him or not, but I'm sure John Waters has seen the movie. Very strange film. 8 out of 10 for Sometimes Aunt Martha Does Dreadful Things. Now, the second movie is called The Brainiac, also known as Baron of Terror. And once again, I have a small history of this movie, too, because I remember when I was in Fort Gordon, Georgia, I bought a bunch of DVDs, and VHSs. And I wasn't able to see them until I got home. We didn't have a VCR. There was one in the break room, but I didn't want to, in a big day room, but I didn't bother to take them out. I just saved them for when I went home. My dad, my dad and mom, because they were split up at the time. And we watched it, and one was called Horrible Horrors, hosted by Zachary. And they were showing clips from a bunch of movies, and one was The Brainiac. And I got confused I got confused as being a mad scientist movie, but it's not. I got confused with another one called Manster. And I remember there was a monster in there, and my dad was laughing, saying, "Boy, that's stupid looking." And it was stupid looking. And I'll tell you what happened. The movie's completely different when I remember it. It's like I thought it was just an alien movie, but it's so many different genres. It was made in 1961. It starts off in the Spanish Inquisition, about being burned at the stake. And I think it got influenced by a 1960 movie, Black Sunday, by Mary Bava, which is much, much better than this. They ended up interviewing the guy, and they said that he was laughing off, he was accused of witchcraft, necromancy, sorcery, and all this other stuff. And they sentenced him to torture, and he was laughing off the torture. So they said they decided, they had some guy to come out to vouch for him, and then that guy gets killed. And then they end up saying, well, we're going to burn you at the stake. And they end up humiliating him and burning him at this bonfire. And he said that, and they showed this comet, and the comet's probably the worst special effects for comet I've ever seen in my life. And the guy said that with the comet, what the hell did I was going to say? Yeah, he said that he's going to come back in 300 years and kill all your ancestors. Because you've seen that before. I think that happened on Black Sunday, too, if I'm not mistaken. He comes back, and it's really weird. 300 years later, they show the thing, and they show like this giant rock fall from the sky. All of a sudden, it changes, and then you show him, and he's a monster. He's like this weird thing with big giant ears, a giant nose, lots of hair, and this tongue that sticks out, a real fake-looking tongue that has like these two prongs on it, And he got this guy, and he goes to the back of their neck, and I guess he pokes it with his tongue, and he sucks out their brains, right? And then the first guy, you just see his clothes vanish. He's in his underwear, though. And then the other guy turns into human form with his suit, which is really weird. I don't know how that worked. And then from out that point, they have like these scientists trying to find out more about the comet. And there's scenes where he can come and become invisible. He can go from human to monster form a lot. He can hypnotize people, and they'll show like close to his face, and they'll have like a blinking. Some of us have a light, flashlight blink on off. And he goes back and forth between monsters, and he has like a little chalice. He said this is his medicine that he has. Like, it's a thing of brains, which is actually pretty good for 1961. It's a black and white movie, and he can eat them and stuff like that. And it's available both on Netflix and on YouTube. I just decided to see the dubbed version on YouTube, and Netflix is just the subtitled version. I'm probably making this sound a lot better than what it is. It's very strange. It ends up wearing out its welcome about halfway through. Sometimes some of these Mexican horror films can be boring. I didn't think this was boring, but it's just getting old real quick. It's not one of the better ones, but it's good enough for me to give it a very mild 7 out of 10. Could I describe a movie up to a certain part? I don't want to give away any spoilers, because I don't like doing spoilers. But it's very strange. They're both available on YouTube. You can just look up Brainiac. Say Baron of Terror, aka Brainiac, and they have that. Or you can look for it on Netflix. So, there you have it for Sometimes Aunt Martha Does Dreadful Things. Which I had a hell of a time trying to find out what the title of that was called, because I couldn't remember. And the Brainiac. So until next time, please take care of my legion. Where the hell's... Oh.